Welcome back to Casual Gardening with Dustin. Today is June 2nd. It's been a month. Let's talk about it. Now I noticed, going back over my previous videos to make this one, that I was confused in a lot of the videos about which bed had kohlrabi and which bed had beets in it. So if you are thinking about a video where you saw me point to what was clearly beets and say they were kohlrabi, you are correct. I have actually been harvesting kohlrabi as of the end of last month, just a little bit at a time. So I'm very clear now on what's in which bed. Unfortunately, thanks to the determined reproductive efforts of some leaf miner flies, I haven't been harvesting any beets yet. They're taking longer to mature because they're losing a lot of leaves. Now, one point to remember when you're harvesting your kohlrabi in the spring in my climate, or any warm climate, is if you let them get much bigger than a golf ball, that's approximately 5 centimeters for you European folk, it's going to become pithy. So pick them small in the spring, and you can let them grow a little bit larger when you do your fall planting. And here is a kohlrabi that is just about big enough to harvest. Here's my hand to get a feel for the size. I'm excited to let these grow much larger in the fall. Spinach and cilantro aren't being harvested anymore in my garden because they've both bolted. So I got one picking of cilantro and it was done. Alright, as you can see, this is what spinach looks like when it bolts. One really bright side, when your spinach bolts, it becomes a lot less susceptible to leaf miners. So I really appreciated not having to inspect these for leaf miners anymore. I'm still getting massive lettuce harvests, so this has been a really informative time in terms of learning how much I need to plant for my household's use. The peas, I think you can probably see them back there. They've overgrown their supports, so I'm picking a lot of pea shoots to go in my salad green mix that I'm picking. That is something you can do. Most of the pea plant tastes like peas. Also, as of last week, we've been harvesting pea pods. Here's a great look at my peas. You can see the top of the trellis is right here. Last month, I planted bush and pole beans, summer and winter squash, corn, and cucumbers. And all of those have come up. Right here we've got my summer squash growing in a bed of black seed lettuce. I did have some snail damage on my beans, which I'm excited to show you just so that you can feel better about your garden, which may or may not be as big as mine. That's okay. And you will see that I am struggling with pests as well. I also found last month that I've got aphids on my tomatoes, and I've got, well, I mentioned the leaf miners. Here you can see the bush beans that I planted. They are looking good. The corn. Over here I have some of my pole beans coming up. These did not do as well. I've had rampant snail and slug damage. 2 of my tomato plants are fruiting now. So I've got fruits in progress on both the green zebra and the Florentino tomato plants. I'm super excited about that. Here is my Florentino tomato in all of its glory. And here is my hand for scale. So last month saw some pretty wacky weather fluctuations because we had a cold snap followed by, I'm going to call it a heat wave this past week. My carrots are bolting. Right now here is a shot of my carrots bolting. So these were seeded just last March. And they're already flowering. Carrots are a biennial plant, but because of the crazy mixed messages that nature's been sending us, these ones are taking off. It's next year, folks. Here is a ladybug crawling through the carrots that haven't bolted. I'm super excited every time I see one of these in my garden because, as I mentioned, I've got aphids in my tomatoes. So hopefully the carrot flowers are going to attract a lot of ladybugs to my garden. Strawberries just started coming on at the end of this month, and so I'm looking forward to harvesting a lot of those next month in June, as well as raspberries. And that is May in 5 minutes. Thank you for joining me and watching this update on my channel. As always, I hope your garden grows well.